If you're thinking of moving to Maryland in 2026, this list will save you a lot of time and a lot of regret, because I'm going to cover the top ranked places to live in Maryland in 2026, where they are, what they're all about, and why people are moving here right now. And I talk to people every single week about moving to Maryland, and these cities continuously come up during our conversation for very different reasons. And before we dive into number one, if you haven't already downloaded my free relocation roadmap, you can do that in the description below. It covers the process step by step, even if you have a house to sell first. All right, and moving on to the number one top place to live in Maryland, that is Bethesda, Maryland. Located in Montgomery County, just outside of Washington, D.C., this is continuously a top place to move on pretty much every ranking list you'll look at. So what do people really love about it? Well, they love the metro access, the top schools, the low crime rates, and the housing options here. But with all of the proximity to DC and the top schools and low crime comes a higher price point. And at the time of this video, the average price for a home in Bethesda is around $1.25 million, making it not even in the cards for many people, but for those that have the money, it's a fantastic place to live. And this is a place that has long-term demand for the houses and long-term stability. And coming in at number two on the list is our state capital of Annapolis. It's located in Anne Arundel County, right on the water by the Chesapeake Bay, and it's also been a very popular place for people to move to for a long time. Other than being the state capital, it's also home to the United States Naval Academy, and it's considered the sailing capital of the United States. It has one of the most charming historic downtowns in the state with a ton of history to it and a lot of local restaurants, cafes, and pubs that you can try. And I would say many people that move here have some kind of connection either to the Naval Academy or the water, because the price point here is higher. The average cost of a home is $600,000, but I find that people generally pay more like $900,000 and up for single family homes in Annapolis itself. So if you're not into the sailing culture or the Naval Academy or being on the water, it's a hefty price point to pay. Alrighty, coming in at number three on the list is Frederick, Maryland. Located just an hour north of DC and an hour west of Baltimore, this is a very popular place for people to move to, not just in 2026, but for the last decade or so. And the biggest draw is definitely the price point. The average price of a home in Frederick at the time of this video is about $480,000, and people see that you can get more space and more yard for the money and still have the historic downtown. And that downtown is a real walkable downtown with over 200 local shops, restaurants, breweries, cafes, and distilleries that you can visit regularly. So this town does not get old if you visit all year long. And people move here because it feels like a lifestyle upgrade without completely leaving the DC metro. And coming in at number four on the list is Ellicott City, Maryland. And this is continuously a top place to live in Maryland as well because of the Howard County Public School system. Now, Howard County Public Schools consistently rank as one of the best systems in the entire nation, not just the state. And many of the high schools here are also the top high schools in the state, and families want their kids to be in this school system. But with that also comes a pretty hefty price tag as well, with an average price point of around $715,000, but expect to pay more like $900,000 or more for a large home in the school district that you want. And another big draw to Ellicott City is its proximity to Baltimore. It's actually considered one of the top suburbs of Baltimore, not just DC. And that's because so many people that live here work in Baltimore in one of the medical systems downtown or in one of the major companies that are located downtown as well. And coming in at number five on the list actually surprised me this year, and that's Towson, Maryland. Located just on the north side of Baltimore, Towson is actually known as a college town thanks to Towson University, which has grown more and more over the years. But recently, it's becoming more of a place for people and families to move to because of its proximity to Baltimore as well. With the growing healthcare industry in and around Johns Hopkins and other hospital systems, there are so many jobs in the city and around the city for medical professionals. And with Towson's median price point being similar to Frederick, around $480,000 for a home, people are moving here for that value. There's also a ton of local shops and restaurants here as well. While Towson's a little busier downtown than a Frederick would be, it still has a lot to offer, and people are choosing this more and more. And coming in at number 6 on the list, we're going back to Montgomery County to Rockville, Maryland. Located just to the north of Washington, D.C., a little farther out than Bethesda, but still with really great access and a metro station itself, so you can not even have a car and go into work in DC. It's a huge draw for people, and one of the biggest reasons they move here is the price point. At the time of this video, the average price for a home in Rockville is about $600,000. And while yes, you could pay more, it's because the homes here are generally smaller than a place like Bethesda. And even though the houses are a little smaller, you're getting that same proximity to DC for a lot less money. And Rockville has a ton of top-ranked schools. And similar to Howard County schools, they're ranked one of the best public school systems in the nation. You also have a real town center in Rockville with shops and restaurants, and a surprising thing about Rockville is the access to nature. Looking on a map, you might not think that there's much around being so close to DC, but the interconnected trail systems in Rockville to the surrounding parks is incredible, and you could go on for miles and miles and even connect to the C&O Canal and go for hundreds of miles from your home right in Rockville. And coming in at number 7 on the list is no surprise at all, and it's often ranked the number 1 best place to move in Maryland, and that is Columbia. Now, it's one of the largest planned communities in the country with over 100,000 residents in this community alone. It's made up of multiple villages that all interconnect to create the Columbia Association. And within that, there's walking trails everywhere and amenities everywhere throughout this community. And other than the amenities and the suburban feel here, people move here because of the Howard County schools for one, and proximity to Baltimore. And that's because Columbia is right next to Ellicott City, both of them being just outside of Baltimore, and Columbia also consistently ranks as one of the top places to live near the city. And while it doesn't have a lot of nightlife and it can feel like somewhat of a suburban sprawl, people really love that about Columbia, and the amount of shops and restaurants and places to go to has increased in recent years. So that's it, the 7 best places to move in Maryland in 2026. And I'm curious, what towns or cities do you think should have been on this list that weren't? Which one would you move to if you were considering a move to Maryland? And if you're a local, give me the rundown on what you think the number 1 best place to live in Maryland is in 2026. Again, my name is Eddie Brady, and if you're considering a move to Maryland, whether that's 2 months away or a year away, it's never too soon to hop on a call with me to get a plan together for your move so it goes as smoothly as possible. The best way to do that is to go on the link in the description below and schedule a one-on-one call. You'll leave with clarity and you'll be fully ready for your move to Maryland. See you on the next one.